Hello and welcome everyone. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's Let's Talk Growth, a platform that will be facilitating conversation evolving around career, psychology, philosophy, health, and deen. We can practically say we talk about everything and anything. And I'll be your host. I am Latifa Ogunlala. Today we are going to be talking about the tech transition. And at the other end of the conversation with me is Mr. Nuruddin Shuremekum, a software engineer, co-founder and CTO at TechGen Africa. I'm so glad you are doing this with me. Thank you so much. Jazakumullah khairan, sir.
Yeah, our hands It's a pleasure to be here as well.
Okay. So, just like I said, we are talking about the tech transition, and the world is fast evolving. And when you hear that people want to transition, they are all talking about tech. Can anybody and everybody go into tech?
So the thing is not it's not realistic to answer a question on behalf of everybody actually. So that said, my own belief, which I have substantiated over time, is not just like my bias, it's a reality. It is that if anyone sets his mind on anything, uh, he will have a very good chance at achieving it. I wouldn't say he will achieve it. Actually, I should have said he will actually achieve it, but just because life can happen at times, I would just say that
Yeah.
it stands a very good chance, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that is some like the growth mentality. It's very important that for some people to be able to complete in life, they have this mentality that if I believe something is worth doing, then if I start at it, even if I'm starting in a very little manner, I can definitely get that thing that's worth doing achieved. That is the growth mentality. And is the reality because you can even see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us in the Quran, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. So Allah was saying, those that strive in our paths, we will guide them to our ways. So, and that's like another rendering of the growth mentality. As you keep pushing through something, it will become more easy for you, and definitely you can achieve it. So that's one. Then number two, there after we know that it's possible. So even if they believe they can do it, they are not being persistent enough. It's normal to face challenges in anything that's worthwhile. And if you push through, before you know it, you get to the other end. So because of these complexities in people's mentality and attitude, that is, they believe in they cannot do it, or attitude of giving up before getting to the end line, what we are seeing is that there is almost always going to be opportunities left untapped in the tech space. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
it means if you really believe you want to go for it, you will get it. Definitely you get it. In my own little experience, at least, I've been able to mentor people across different demographics, people that have just finished high school and people that are graduates and everything in between. So I've been able to take them successful software or some other allied disciplines in the tech space. So this means you can almost see someone like you, even if you go online again. Just type someone you believe represents your demography. Like, be you someone that just finished primary school or something, or if you check online, you see success stories that shows that people have done it. And I mean, why can't you do it if people have done it? So that's it.
So, I've mentioned that now. That's taking me to, the misconception about the tech industry. I've talked to a couple of people and they're like, in our Nigerian space, we don't see certain kind of profession or jobs as tech. Like, I was talking to someone that is doing something like 3D animation, unified communication, um, data security. I mean, do you get? And they're like, in this part of the world, they don't regard those kind of job as tech kind of job.
So definitely there are tech related jobs. I mean, they are even using computers for that matter as well. So the only thing I should be clear about here is that you see, you already know as well that there is some sort of enthusiasm around how well how well paying tech jobs can be, right? So,
Mhm.
that kind of context can make people feel at times like, do you really have that chance to earn so well with what you are doing? And then they using that to classify you as whether you are doing tech or not. But ideally, that's not the real yardstick to use. So, but what I will say here is that let's be realistic about in the maturity, like how matured is the tech ecosystem here in Nigeria. Do you understand?
Mm.
It is when the core has really matured that all the related disciplines around that core would start benefiting as much as they should as well.
Mhm.
If they've not matured very well, you will not be able to get enough opportunities getting to the, uh, let me say, offshoots from this core. And that's the stage we are in this part of the world. So while if you believe you're very passionate and you can stand out, there are still definitely opportunities for you in even things like animation and those other ones you mentioned. There are definitely opportunities there. But it means those opportunities are not so many yet because of the stage of the maturity of the tech ecosystem in our own space. So you really have to be sure you want to go for it and stand out very well. And I believe with that, you can both attract local and global opportunities. Yeah.
Okay, so you know that when we go into tech, or when people go into tech, they have the mindset of, oh, I'll start making money, I'll start living large. What of that misconception?
Well, the thing is, you know that in life, nothing good comes easy, right? So I want to tell people like this fact that nothing good comes easy for anything you want to do in life, any promise that's been made to you, any stuff that's been sold to you, just first know in your subconscious, in a level that nobody can sway you from it, that nothing good first comes easy. So when you first have this mindset, you not feel like I'll start something today, even if it is tech, and start making so much more tomorrow or next month. If that were to be the case, what's stopping everybody from going there, right? And making so much,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
that means this should first be like a mantra one is ready to apply to anything that is learning about or yeah is being told. So that said, once that reservation is first there, then the fact is that you really want to be very passionate if you're coming into tech because there are many hurdles you would face, right? Because computers are very hard and fast. By being hard and fast, I mean that it's just understanding your mistake as your instruction. Do you understand? And it will just implement that for you. And that means if you are not very passionate, to make sure to always investigate while holding yourself to high standards, you know, making sure you are trying to appreciate the fact that so many people are entrusting you with many critical things in their day-to-day lives, because that's what being in tech space really means. If we are trying to help people automate what they do in many critical areas of their lives, right? And
Yeah.
you have to be very passionate to be like, people are entrusting me at times with booking their hospital appointments, at times with how to fly properly, and so on and so forth. All these things are very crucial, and I'm very passionate to make sure I leave no stone unturned in making sure the theories are well known, the principles are well applied, the best practices are well conformed to. I leave no stone unturned in making sure I'm delivering the best job every now and then. So this is the passion that we really get to the finish line. And of course, if you get to the finish line, there's no doubt about the fact that it's indeed a cash cow. You understand? But you getting at least, let me say, close to that finish line is what really matters, because indeed, there's even nothing like getting to the finish line. The field is evolving very fast, and that means you are always expected to be on your toes. So that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you see, I haven't cleared the fact that, okay, one should not go with the mindset that, oh, I'm going to start making cash, and giving the impression that there's something vital you're actually doing, so you need to focus. What are the
Exactly.
steps, like, for someone that wants to transition into tech? How do they go about it?
Yeah, so the first thing is whatever area they want to go into, they need to first have a good overview of what that area entails in terms of how their own talents have been known to them over time. Like, okay, I think if this space requires people to have this type of talents, I think I have this type of talents, you know, Then looking at what the field entails in terms of the day-to-day life of a typical professional in that space, just first make sure that you are not going to the river. Understand? So you want to fully understand first what the river is like, and that means at the onset you can even do that kind of appraisal to a number of tech disciplines, so that you can really see where really resonates better with you in the at the onset. So after realizing that, okay, this is where really sits well with me, next thing will be like trying to start researching the learning pathways for you to really go through the different stages. And as part of that, you start trying to form a network. You are supposed to start increasing your network in such a way that you are being enriched, you are being in touch with people that can be your mentors in that space. You understand? And I mean, it's a global village today, both from people that are your friends and physical, like your physical friends, know, both from those kind of possibilities to even going on various social media, channels like especially Twitter and so on. You can always try to know who are those that are really the veterans in this space and try to make sure you are getting connected with them. This helps you to really know how things are evolving, how you should best be studying, and how to also know which opportunities are available that you are in the know to apply when you should and get good word being put in for you as need be. So eventually, when you see these learning pathways, it might mean you doing self-study. It might mean you learning with some well-structured programs and everything in between. So, but one thing is key in all of this. You will have to practice the hell out of yourself. Yeah. So, like, there is no substitute to that practice. Whether you are doing a self-study or you are doing a structured program is a must. So, and I think, again, as part of increasing your network while at it, is very great. Some communities will it you in days when it can get very gloomy. Yeah, they will help you to let you know that it can be like that. If it's like that, then do like this. Before you know it, you get back on your feet again, and hopefully you get good enough to start creating value and being rewarded. Yeah.
Okay, so I would actually like you to tell us how you started. Like, you also transitioned into tech, or that's what you studied in school, a tech related course?
Yeah, so again, if we are saying tech is just like things around disciplines around computer, so I will say that I transitioned. But yeah, I transitioned because what I studied in school, I studied electrical electronics engineering, and I mean that's still tech, but it's not information technology. Yeah, in the core sense of the word. So in my own case, I haven't finished my first degree, then I was able to actually get good opportunities in the industry, and I quickly rose through the ranks actually. And it was at the point in that career of mine in the electrical engineering industry and energy industry that I was reflecting like, so having moved quite fast in this field, are there still many more steps for me to move through, many more steps for me to climb in the industry, like in the engineering industry? And it's dawned on me then that as someone that is in Nigeria, which is a developing nation, it means that there are many facilities, there are many equipments that I will not easily have access to, because these things are very capital intensive and we are not yet really there. And I'm someone that I always like to benchmark myself against a global standard. Anything to stop me from being able to measure up to what my peers anywhere else in the globe can claim to be able to, do. So looking at that, I was like, it would be better for me to switch to more of programming related stuffs, because in that case, once I have my personal computer, I'm really not limited in how far I can benchmark myself to these global standards, And looking at that, I saw that that's the way to go. And other things around how lean.
What did you say?
How lean? When I say how lean, I mean how you need little financial resources,
Oh,
how
okay.
you need to get to the top of your field without being constrained about you have to be in one gigantic facility that has some sophisticated equipment and so on. So I was like, okay, this helps in a lean manner to get to the top of the field. But beyond that, it also helps in a lean manner to start your own thing if you are someone that has the will to be an entrepreneur. So the space is also lean for you to be an entrepreneur. So looking at all of these things together, I was like, let me make this switch. And that was a tough call for me, but I made that call, and alhamdulillah that I was able to make it then. So I decided to resign my job and went on a self-study route because I believe that at my own level of problem solving, at my own level of trying to understand a complex material, I believe I will not have challenges. So that's owing to my background, because even as an electrical engineer, I was already exposed to programming. It's mathematical intensive programming, not the general programming for business applications. So I
Mm-hmm.
do programming then for modeling and simulating engineering systems using the likes of MATLAB, for example. So I knew that I definitely had what it takes then to be able to explore those stuffs, curate the learning pathway, explore some of the very best resources on my own, get enough practice, and eventually start creating value in the space. So, which was what I did. And at the point after I've really gone through this self study route, I eventually got my first job, and that was with Deloitte in Lagos. So, and everything from then to now is just like uh, going from one step to the other, going from one step to the other. So, I think that's basically it. Yeah.
Okay, let's go on a short break.